Good morning. It's feeling early today, but that's because it was a bit of a late night last night. Why was it a late night? Well, I had the joy of celebrating my 12th wedding anniversary yesterday, which was actually incredible and a lovely day both with my wife and then with my family, and I feel so blessed to have some wonderful family friends that are able to handle my kiddos and give my wife and I some space to connect. It's really incredible. And we went out as a family last night, went dancing to our local variant of ecstatic dance called Dance Temple, which is like a silent dance floor in terms of you don't talk on it, but you do, look at those nice kale plants, have lots of music going on. And all the kids did great. And again, there was more people to help with the children so that my wife and I actually got to dance for a moment together, which is one of our loved activities that we share. And I would encourage anyone who's out there to dance with your partner. I feel like it's one of those spaces where even if things are going rough in your relationship, it's like talking doesn't always resolve what's going on. And to be able to move together in that way can actually be a really great space of transformation. To which, today I want to talk about some different lessons I've learned along my 12 years in a relationship. And just to be clear that this summer have been together for 13 years, which means that we were married within the first year. We also had our first child within that same time frame. And I'm just going to imagine that a lot of relationships that do that don't make it. I mean, there's just so many nuanced aspects of not knowing each other that happen, that it's been there go some ducks, a really beautiful process of getting to know each other all these years, and a recognition that in long-term marriages and relations that your partner will change. You will change. You're going to be someone different when you're 70 than at whatever age you are now, unless obviously you're 70 right now, in which case I hope you have a lot more good years to come. And being around for those changes is actually, from my opinion, part of the joy of being together. And, who knows what that means? I mean, we started our relationship in Hawaii. Now we're in Salt Spring. We went to Toronto for a moment, went down to Santa Cruz for a bit. And all of those changes basically develop different parts of ourselves. And so just being open to changing and being in that. Other things that I've learned. Now, I think that sex is a very important part of being married, but I don't think it's the end-all be-all. And I think it's important to have other aspects of, I actually want to check another thing here, of relating. So my wife and I, we drink tea every morning together. It's a Gung Fu styled tea, so we have really tiny cups, and we do lots of steepings of our pu'er or oolong or white teas, and that's been a lovely thing. I think we're at is it 8 years or something like that of doing tea? Maybe it's 7. Anyway, quite a while. And we missed a couple days this past year because I was sick, and a couple days because I was out on an adventure. But besides that, we drink tea every day. And it's about an hour long, and it gives us time to talk about everything we need to chat about. She now has a little sticky note that she keeps by the table, so that way anything she needs to remember for the day she writes down, which is also helpful. Because I don't know about you all, but if you have kids, you might experience this as well. Especially if they're young, there's not always a lot of time at the end of the day to connect, or you're just so tired from all of the both wonderful and trying aspects of life to connect. And so that morning time is really actually quite precious together. Another thing, I already mentioned dancing, but I want to say it again, is to have some movement practice together. Whatever that is, I want to encourage people to engage in a healthy space of movement together. And another aspect is to grow some plants together. Now, we obviously have this lovely farm here that we put in a decent amount of time, both together and separately. But there's a special thing of cultivating the earth together. And if you're in an apartment, hey, potted plants work, okay? Go ahead and have a tiny or a large bit of plant in your life. And take a modicum of mutual encouragement in it, even if you have totally different pots that you take care of. Laughing is another important thing. So every year we rewrite our vows and look at the previous years to see how do we do. We have an idea that we want to go on a date every month. We freaking fail that so hard, like just about every year. I don't think we've ever nailed that one at all. But my wife this year was like, should we take that off the list? And I was like, no, we need that there. And we treated ourselves to a spa day for our anniversary. A fabulous little place called Solace Spa here on Salt Spring Island. And they had redone the spot since we were last there, which was quite a while ago. And it has not only a gorgeous cedar deep soaking tub, but a nice cold plunge now and an infrared sauna. And that was just spectacular. And I said, we should do that again in the autumn and do it for the 2-hour time session instead of just the 1 hour, because it's just so pleasant to be together in that state of like revitalizing the body. And frankly, like the mind, spirit, and emotions have a good space there to get revitalized as well. And sharing that kind of space together, I think, is also really important. In other times of our life, when we were closer to hot springs, we would go and do some hot springs together. And then share at least dinner together, if not breakfast. Frankly, lunch, I think you can hit or miss it, doesn't really matter. But if you at least share a meal a day together, that's the other important piece. And, sometimes you might have company for that, that's fine. Other times it's just the two or however many people there are in your immediate family. And then, some people are like, don't go to bed angry. I don't know if that's true. Sometimes you gotta go to bed angry. Other times you realize, deal with it the next day. But don't hold on to stuff. If something's rubbing you the wrong way, communicate about it. Even if you're not like the kindest person in the moment when you're doing that, still communicate about it. And then don't be afraid to apologize later for being a jerk or whatever, version of that is true for you. And, work on trying to not be a jerk when you deliver the info. And recognize that the other person might have whatever things they have in their own life about it that are a challenge or a struggle. And if you need therapy, go and get some. And then maybe do couples therapy if that's also what you need. We haven't done that yet, but we have definitely thought about it over the years. Our tea practice tends to be so good that we really get through a lot of stuff, and we both see the growth that each other are making in our lives and the different educational paths that we're both on. And so, learning new things, realize that this is a lifelong journey of personal and together development and change that's happening, and be open to that. That's what I've got for you today. I hope that everyone who's out there and in a partnership of some form or another is in a good one, that it's healthy, that it's not toxic, that it's not trauma filled, and that if it does have those qualities that you're able to extract yourself from it, and or get the help that you need from professionals out there or from the people that care about you. I hope that you all have good social networks beyond your relationship. I think that's so important. I didn't say that in here, but my wife and I both encourage each other to have a social life, to engage with other people beyond each other. That's also healthy. Like, don't just take all your problems with your partner to them. Also, like, sometimes you just need to air it out somebody else and, you know, let the moment of whatever it is be, because it's just a passing, like, they were in a pissy mood, or they were trying to vent and I jumped in and tried to solve a problem. I know that's a big thing for a lot of men out there, and maybe some ladies too. You know, sometimes we just need to, like, get stuff off our chest and it's uncomfortable for the other person. And sometimes we just need other people in our life to do that with too. And it's actually like everything's okay once you do that. So that's like the pressure release valve. What's your pressure release valve? How do you keep your relationships healthy? What are some of the tactics that you use to have your own long-lasting relations? I would love to hear that in the comments below. Thanks for watching today. Thanks for clicking that subscribe button. And have too much fun.